Hello everyone, it is Justin, your Eagle Skipper here with episode 13 of Journey to the Top here in Season 2 with Darlington FC. Now, since you were last with me, I went ahead and went through the entire preseason process, and we're going to have our first game up against Brackley in the Vanarama National League North. In that time, we've made quite a few transfers. So let's go into this transfer history and run through a few of the players that we brought in. Our biggest player came through right before, technically in last season, but I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of his name, but Iestyn Hughes, formerly of Manchester United, the right back, huge potential to be a championship right back in the future. He is a huge coup for this club, and part of the deal to bring him in was that I needed to bring in one of his friends. And I didn't realize this until about a week ago in game, but then I asked him to recommend somebody, and I brought in Charlie Savage, also from Man United, another Welsh under-19 player, decent all around. But let's get back into transfers and see who else we got this season. I brought in Owen Gallagher from Burton, I believe. Yes, from Burton. He's just going to provide some cover on the left side of midfield. We were switching to that 4-4-2 by the end of last season, and just giving Kenyon and Gilbert some competition and some rest. He's on a lot per week. He was the first signing after Mr. Hughes, and I would have gone back and offered him a whole lot less if I got to redo this one. Next, we brought in Harry Allen, a goalkeeper. A potential ability. The coaches at the club think he could be a League Two goalkeeper. He's in on a non-contract, so we're going to have to struggle to keep a hold of him for the future. But right now, he's got some decent current ability and is currently the second or third best keeper at the club. And he's just one to look at for the future. Next up, Lucas Undunsen, our right back that we had on loan from Hull last season, has decided to join us permanently when Hull released him at the end of the year. Just an all-around good player, can play anywhere on the right, and has the attacking and pace to play in a winger position, and he might feature there when we are doing some rotation. Next up, I brought a loan in from Notts County, James Snedden. Just a good little playmaker in midfield. He's going to hopefully grow with us. He's got really good determination. I like that. Just another body to have in midfield. Next up, we brought in Lee Connolly from Sunderland, another parent club of this club, but he has spent the last couple seasons in the Scottish Championship knocking in goals for Alloa. He's going to be a really good option, whether as a striker or as an attacking midfielder. He's got fantastic finishing and a lot of pace and some good player traits to match. And he has been he's been banging in the goals. 7 goals from 6 starts this preseason. Next up, we brought in Ali Omar. One for the future. Got pretty poor mentals. Just somebody who can potentially replace Nicky Hunt when he eventually retires. He did come back for this season, so that's fantastic. But Omar has some really good physicals and has some good heading and marking. A little bit lacking on the tackling, but I think he can develop into a player really useful for this club. And along with Omar, we brought in Jarell Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa comes in from Liverpool. Great physicals, really good jumping reach. Really looking forward to see how he can partner with either Broughton or Omar in the future. I think, again, lacking in the mentals, very poor determination, but hopefully a couple seasons at the club will help increase that. We already looked over Charlie Savage, but I'll show him here once again. And then our last signing of the offseason was Sam Johnson, another goalkeeper, a little bit better than Bywater, not regressing, 12 years younger than Bywater, and Bywater was letting in a lot of goals. He spent the past few years at FC Halifax in the league above. Looks like he was a first-choice keeper for a number of years, and ultimately we just brought him in to provide some cover. So this is what our team looks like for the season. We also brought back Henry Kumwenda on loan from Hull, and Luke Charman did eventually decide that he wanted to remain with the club, so that's fantastic. I did make the unfortunate error of letting my director of football have the ability to re-sign players, so I had about 10 members of last season's team that were on the way out, and he gave contracts to like 3 of them, so that took up about £1,000 a week worth of wage budget of people that are not going to play. So we are over our wage spendings by £1,230,000 per week. But if we look at our club info, we did make a change in captainship. Nicky Hunt is officially our captain, with Charman as our vice captain. Hatfield was told we have some better options, and he was like, you know what, you're absolutely right, and he was very professional about it. So I'm very, very thankful for Hatfield to be so nice. But anyways, let's look into our schedule for this preseason, because I did not expect much from it. As everyone knows, the best way in non-league to get money into the club is to call up teams in higher divisions, see if they want to play at your field in a little league. And so I set up 2 little leagues, because League 2 opponents were the highest up that picked up the phone when we called. I set up a T-side league and a beatdown league, because I expected to get beat down. But that did not happen, and we ended up winning both of those leagues, losing only 1 game against Notts County, 1-2, and that was a very close game, to be sure. And just really, we've had a fantastic offseason. The dynamics are looking much better than they were last season. Good team cohesion, no team leaders at the moment, but good support for the manager. And let's look at the preseason, the season preview even from the National League North. We are expected to top the league at 13-8 odds, 13-8 odds. So that's something to look forward to. I don't know how I changed that, but here is the Media Dream 11. Mr. Hughes is one of the top players in the league, along with Lee Connolly. Connolly's the only one that made it on here because Filed has a lot of players on here with high reputation, and they are indeed second favorite to top the league. But we're going to try to spoil that for them. As I was saying, for today we have this Brackley game. And without further ado, let's get into this match. So the team that we're going to have face Brackley is with his new goalkeeper Johnson in goal, with a back 4 of Gilbert, Broughton, Kwanzaa, and Hughes, with Kenyon, Savage, Snedden, and Ngumbi in midfield. And leading the charge, we have Connolly and Charman. I'm switching Charman over to a poacher, but I may give him chances as a target man. But we've really been scoring well like this in the preseason, so I'm going to continue with that formation. And on the bench, we have Allen, Hunt, Gallagher, Hatfield, and Kumwenda. So let's get into this match. I'm going to pump my fists and tell them that they're favorites for a reason, and that I have faith in them. Still pumping my fists. They're probably wondering if I'm going a little crazy, because just pumping my fists back and forth, and that has motivated some of them. That's fantastic. Let's get into this match. We are in our white kits. Nice little field. Let's get into the game. Nothing's really happening at the moment. 12 minutes gone by. Let's move forward into a positive shape. At the end of last season we were going into attacking, but let's just try positive for the moment. And Gilbert gets it up to Connolly, puts in a cross, wanting Luke Charman, but Charman says, "Here, Mr. Driscoll, take the ball." And that's not how you score. You got to get it past him, Charman. But nice effort nonetheless. But we're able to get the ball up fast once again, and Charman charging forward, but Driscoll is able to hold on to that long lump up from Kenyon, and is trying to get it moving. But once again, we are sniffing out each of his passes, and the ball over the top from Ngumbi isn't able to find its man, and we are just playing a hoofball at the moment. But Kenyon looks like he's going to try to put in a cross. Does eventually make it, and Charman once again hits Driscoll in the hands. That's the second or third time that he has hit the keeper in this match, in that highlight even. But good work from the boys. I'm going to just give them a little bit of encouragement for the last 10 minutes of this half. Mixed results, some smiley faces, some frowny faces. Let's just hope we don't concede off of this move. Having some decent closing down, and looks like Charman's going to intercept that pass and wants to thread through Connolly. He does, and Connolly is charging forward and hits it off of the defender, but is able to collect the rebound and hits it off the defender once again for the throw-in. And that's the end of the highlight. Really deserved better from this match, but we are not behind, which we would have been at this point last season. So let's go to the dressing room, hands on my hips, tell them that they can still make a difference. Looking at everybody to make a difference today. Attackers, I'm not happy with your finishing. That's motivated people. Fantastic stuff. And Gilbert's got a throw in. Is able to find Kenyon, who puts in a cross looking for Charman. Charman wasn't able to get on the end of it, needed to jump a little bit higher. And they're doing some nice passing around, but Kwanzaa is able to get on the end of it. Gets it to Hughes. Hughes lumping it forward, wanting to find Charman. Somehow gets it past the head of the defender. And Ngumbi wants to get the ball in for Connolly, but isn't able to. And we are recycling possession, trying to make something happen from this move. And Ngumbi heads it into Charman. Not sure how he wasn't offsides, but they're playing unselfishly, which is nice, but eventually somebody's got to put a shot in, otherwise we are not going to be able to score. Anyways, 55 minutes gone by. I'm going to make a change in midfield. Savage hasn't been living up to expectations. Neither has Connolly, really, so I'm going to bring on Kumwenda, who was on some excellent run of form to end last season at the club. I'm looking at Ngumbi, wishing we had somebody on the bench who could step on that right side of midfield. But unfortunately, we do not at the moment. But let's take a look at our tactics, and Iestyn Hughes has been really poor on his debut, so we're going to bring in Nicky Hunt to play out in the... Actually, we're going to bring him back. We're going to move over Kwanzaa out to that side, confirm the changes, and my mouse is losing, it is draining, so we're hoping for something to come over the last 3 minutes of this game. It's been a real boring one. I hope we can get a score on this closing highlight. But to do that, we need to get a hold of possession. And my word, I don't even know who to blame for that one. Johnson just decided to do like a little crab walk out into nowhere, and Gilbert didn't get on the end of that cross when he really should have. See, Johnson's just doing a little crab walk. Defend the goal, buddy. Defend the goal. I'm going to tell them that that was simply not good enough, because it really wasn't, and that's a disappointing way to start the season. But that's the way that this season is going to start off. Frustrating stuff. Frustrating stuff. But anyways, that's going to do it for this first episode of Season 2. If you liked this episode, go ahead and leave a like. Drop a comment if you got any suggestions for where we go from here. And hit that red subscribe button if you'd like to join us on this journey to the top.